objects, that how to react these objects, the individual behaviors. So this is the cognition. Cognition is a process which recognize, interpreting, judging, reasoning, perceiving, memorizing, thinking, feeling, as well emotional activity of a human being is called cognition. Cognition is a process to recognize. Recognize means in how to define what type of objects they're selected. The object are you like or dislike. So this is the recognition of some social object toward the different object of selection. And the other is the interpreting. Interpreting mean is a type of perception, that how you define the meaning of this social object you selected, what type of perception you will be express your feeling toward a social objects. You are learning, you are thinking about the how to learns with something with these social objects. So this is the interpreting, to define some sort of social object. This is the interpreting. The other is the judging. Judging means to evaluate the different type of activity which are connecting with these social objects. So this is the judging. The other is the reasoning. Reasoning means to determine the specific sort of things. The other is the perceiving. Perceiving means to conceive some informations about the social object. The other is the memorizing. Memorizing means the short term of memorizing and the long term of memorizing. They are thinking about the what type of object they were selected. The other is the thinking. Thinking is other objects you will be selected some social objects. And other is the feeling. So as well as the emotional activity of the human being is called cognition. So define the cognition is the process of recognizing, interpreting, judging, reasoning, perceiving, memorizing, thinking, feeling, as well emotional activity of human being is called cognition. So it is the individual human behavior, and the other individual human behavior is the attitude. Attitude is the positive or negative emotional activity to some sort of object. Is the determinants of like, dislike. It is the determinants of like and dislikes. The individual, they what type of feelings toward some social objects, they are negative. The tendency of positive and negative feeling toward a social object is called attitude. A tendency of positive and negative to a social object is called attitudes. Attitude is another individual behavior. The individual can be how to feeling with toward the social object, they are negative or positive. So the tendency toward the individual, positive or negative, is called attitudes. They are like determinants like to like and dislike, that the humans, the individual behavior, the objects they are like or not like or dislike. So this is the attitude. It is also the type of individual behavior, but the behavior can be dynamic and attitudes can be stable. The individual behavior, they can be changed according to their situations, according to the physical environment, and to the attitude they can be stable. So the failing toward the some object negative, so they will be negative all of time. And to the tendency toward the object is negative, so they have the negative all of time. So the attitude and the behaviors, they also not the same things, but the attitude will be stable and the behavior can be modified to change with the period of time, with the situation of time. So this is the attitude. So there is some objects which are including with the attitude. Objects of attitude. Objects of attitude. The first one is the feeling. Feeling means what type of feeling toward an object you will select it. You feel positive or negative. These things are good for your health and these things are not good for your health. So this is your feeling, the internal tendency. You are not to express the externally with the socialize. So you are feeling with the internal bodies of the organism. They are good for your health and they are not good for your health. So you are eating some things and you feel this type of foods is good for my health and this type of good is not good for my health. So this is type of internal tendency is called feeling of the human. So the attitudes is also include the feeling of the individual toward a social object. The other is thinking. Thinking is the another object of individual attitude behaviors. The individual will be thinking. So the selecting objects, they are good for your futures, for the careers, and these objects you are selected with the socials, they are good for your health, they are good for your society, they are good for your culture, they are good for religious. So these all of things which are including the individual. So they are thinking about the objects, that how to tendency toward positive or negative, I like, dislike, these type of thing is called thinking of the individual behavior. The other is the action of tendency. Action of tendency is the another object of attitude. The individual can be reacted. The object will be good, the object will be like, the object will be dislike. These tendency is the action of tendency to select it. The actual object will be selected, that they are good for my health, so they are selected. So these selection is called action of tendency. Action of tendency is the evaluation of all of things, they are good for my health and not good for my health. So this selection is called action of tendency. So the attitude can be including with the three objects: feeling, thinking, and action of tendency. So today's topic is cognition and attitude, an object of attitude. Okay, thank you.